Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 4 Reddit stories for you. Family drama, petty fights, and Reddit's wildest AITA stories. Story 1. A kid kept licking his fingers after digging in his shorts at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Okay, so this one is genuinely going to make your skin crawl a little bit, fair warning. I'm on a package holiday right now, staying at this hotel that does all-you-can-eat buffet-style meals, which honestly should be great, except for one specific family that's completely ruining it for me. There's this one family here, and the oldest kid has some type of special needs. I want to be really clear, I have zero issue with that, none. What I have an issue with is what's been happening for the past few days. This kid keeps putting his hands down the back of his shorts, rooting around back there for way longer than is normal, and then bringing his fingers up to his mouth and licking them. In public. At the buffet. And here's the part that really gets me. His parents are just letting him do his own thing completely unsupervised in this environment. He helps himself to the food, and I mean directly with his hands, no tongs, no plate first, just reaching into the communal serving dishes that everyone else is going to eat from. He also walks around talking to random guests and trying to hug people he's never met, which, again, I understand this might be part of who he is, but the parents are not stepping in at all. So I did what I thought was the reasonable thing. I went and spoke to the hotel staff about the hygiene issue specifically, not about the kid existing or being different, just about the hand in shorts then food thing, because that's a genuine health concern for everyone eating there. Staff seemed sympathetic but said there's not much they can really do to police a guest's child. So then I decided to talk to the mom directly. I tried to be as gentle as I possibly could about it. I basically said something like, "Hey, I've noticed your son touches himself and then touches the food, would it be possible to maybe have him use the tongs or wash his hands first?" And she got immediately defensive, told me he has special needs and I should be more understanding, and that was basically the end of the conversation. Nothing's changed. He's still doing it. I saw it happen again literally today. Now I feel like I'm stuck in this really awkward spot. Because on one hand, I do understand that parenting a child with special needs in public is genuinely hard, and I don't want to be the jerk who's making things harder for a family that's probably already dealing with a lot of stares and judgment everywhere they go. But on the other hand, this is a shared buffet. Every single person eating there, including families with little kids and elderly guests, is now potentially eating food that's been contaminated. That's not really a special needs issue at that point, that's just a food safety issue that happens to involve a kid with special needs. I don't want to make a scene, I don't want to ruin anyone's holiday, but I also don't think I'm wrong for not wanting to eat food that's been handled like that. I've started just very carefully checking which dishes he's been near before I take anything, which is exhausting to do on a holiday that's supposed to be relaxing. So tell me, am I the jerk for pushing this after the mom already told me to back off, or is this actually a legitimate health and safety thing that the family needs to be more responsible about regardless of the son's needs? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. I told my uncle he had to move out of the house he's lived in rent-free for 20 years. So this is a story that's been eating me alive for the past few weeks, and I need to know if I actually did something wrong here. My mom bought a spare apartment in our city almost 30 years ago, just as an investment property, way before any of this drama started. About 20 years ago, my uncle, that's my mom's brother, was going through a rough patch, couldn't find a job, and my mom offered to let him stay in that apartment rent-free for as long as he needed. It was supposed to be a temporary thing to help him get back on his feet. 20 years later, he's still there. Rent-free. This whole time. Now here's where it gets complicated. My parents had basically all of their savings sitting in a local bank. That bank collapsed this year. It's going to take up to 3 years for them to get all of their money back through whatever process is handling it. In the meantime, my parents, who are both retired, only have about 6 months of cash left to actually live on. 6 months. That's it. No income coming in, a chunk of their life savings frozen for years, and bills that don't stop just because the bank failed. My mom, bless her, could not bring herself to be the one to tell her own brother he had to move out. She's carried guilt about pushing him out for weeks, going back and forth, stressed beyond belief, losing sleep over it. So I stepped in and told him myself. I sat him down and explained the whole situation, the bank collapse, the 6 months of cash, everything. I told him he needed to start making arrangements to move out because we needed to either sell that apartment or rent it out for actual income, because my parents genuinely might not be able to cover their own basic living expenses otherwise. He did not take it well. At all. He's acting like we're throwing him out onto the street with no warning, even though I gave him a real timeline to find something else. He's been telling other family members that I'm heartless, that I'm the one who did this to him, not even really acknowledging that my mom is the actual owner and that I was just the messenger because she couldn't do it herself. Some relatives are now looking at me like I'm the villain of this whole situation, like I evicted a helpless old man for fun instead of trying to save my own parents from potentially going broke in their retirement. What really gets me is the double standard here. He got 20 years, of completely free housing. No rent, no real financial pressure, ample time to save up and get his own place if he'd wanted to. And the one time my family actually needs that asset back because of a crisis that is not our fault, suddenly I'm the bad guy for enforcing a totally reasonable 6-month notice. My parents worked their whole lives for that money, and now they're staring down the possibility of running out of cash in retirement, and I'm supposed to just let my uncle continue living there for free indefinitely out of guilt. I don't think that's fair to my parents, but I also see my uncle's side a little. 20 years is a long time to get comfortable somewhere. So really, was I wrong to be the one who told him he had to go, even though it was my mom's property and my parents' financial survival on the line? Story 3. I screamed through a membrane sweep and now I'm questioning my whole birth plan. Okay, so I need to just talk this out because I am 40 weeks pregnant right now. This was a planned pregnancy, very much wanted, and I feel like I'm spiraling a little bit and I don't know if that's normal or if something's actually wrong with how I'm handling this. So my partner has genuinely been amazing this entire pregnancy. Like, textbook perfect partner behavior. He's been helping around the house, taking care of me, picking up slack when I was too exhausted or sick to do things, all while I was juggling being pregnant and finishing university at the same time. I really can't complain about him at all. I want to make that clear because that's not what this is about. So here's what happened. I'm overdue now, and honestly just so done with being pregnant at this point, like every mom at the end says. We went in for an appointment and I asked my doctor if she could do a membrane sweep to try to get things moving, because I really want to go into labor naturally and birth this baby the way I had pictured. She agreed to do it right there. Now, I knew going in that a membrane sweep hurts. Everyone tells you that, you read about it, you brace yourself for it. But I was not prepared for how much it actually hurt. I ended up screaming during the procedure, like full-on screaming, which I did not expect from myself at all. I've always considered myself to have a decent pain tolerance, and this just completely blindsided me. And now, afterward, I'm sitting here questioning everything about the birth plan I had in my head. I had this whole vision, I wanted to go as natural as possible, minimal interventions, really trying to let my body do what it's designed to do. But after screaming through something that's supposed to be a relatively minor, in-office procedure, I'm suddenly terrified of what actual labor and delivery is going to feel like. Like if that hurt that much, what does that mean for contractions, for pushing, for everything else that's coming? I haven't really told anyone how shaken I am by it, not even my partner, because I don't want him to worry or think I'm regretting the pregnancy or something, because I'm not, at all. I just feel like this pain caught me completely off guard and now I don't know if I have it in me to stick to the birth plan I wanted, or if I should just go in more open to interventions and pain relief and let go of this picture I had of how it would go. I think part of me feels almost embarrassed that I screamed, like I should have handled it better, been tougher about it. But another part of me is thinking, maybe that reaction is actually really useful information, maybe my body is telling me something about what I actually need going into this. I'm not asking if I'm the jerk here in the traditional sense, I know this isn't really that kind of situation, but I guess I'm asking, is it normal to have your entire birth plan shaken by one painful procedure, and should I be reevaluating what I want going into labor, or is this just overdue pregnancy anxiety talking? Story 4. I broke a promise to my best friend over a show we'd waited years for. So this whole thing has left me feeling genuinely awful, and I need an outside perspective because I keep going back and forth on whether I made the right call. Me and my best friend, we've been planning this trip abroad for ages to see a show that I have wanted to see for so long, like this has been on my bucket list for years. My best friend deals with social anxiety, and because I've known her for so long, I know exactly what sets it off and what kind of environments make her shut down completely. This trip was supposed to be just the two of us, a space where she could feel comfortable and not have to perform or manage a bunch of new people around her. Now, I also have a cousin who I'm genuinely very close with, he's 20, and it turned out he was going to be at the same show, same city, same weekend, just coincidentally. So before any of this became an issue, I proactively reached out to him and explained the situation. I told him straight up that my best friend has social anxiety, and because of that, I wasn't going to be able to hang out with him during the trip, that this needed to stay just me and her. And he was completely fine with it at the time. Understanding, no pushback, said he got it. But then, once we actually got there, things started to shift. He started texting me more than expected, asking to meet up just for a little bit, saying he'd feel weird being in the same city and not seeing me at all since we're so close. And I started feeling this pull, because I do love my cousin, and it did feel kind of sad knowing he was right there and we weren't spending any time together. So at one point, I ended up meeting him for a short while, without my best friend, while she stayed back at the place we were staying. When I came back, she could tell something was off, and I ended up telling her the truth, that I'd gone to see my cousin briefly. And she was hurt, understandably. She reminded me that this trip was supposed to be about the two of us, about her not having to deal with unpredictable social situations, and that me sneaking off to see someone else, even for a little bit, even someone I'm close to, broke the one promise I made her before we left. She felt like I had prioritized my own guilt about my cousin over the actual commitment I made to her. And honestly, hearing her say it like that made me feel sick, because she's right that I did promise her explicitly this would just be us. I told my cousin in advance specifically so there wouldn't be any confusion about what this trip was for. And then I still caved when he pushed a little, even though it was completely his choice to still show up expecting time with me despite already knowing the deal going in. At the same time, part of me still feels like it's not fair that I have to basically abandon my cousin entirely just because he happened to be in the same place, especially since we don't get to see each other that often either. I don't think either of them are bad people in this. I think I just made a promise and then didn't keep it fully, and now I have to sit with the fact that I hurt my best friend on a trip that was supposed to be about supporting her. So I guess my question is, once you make a promise like that to someone who's trusting you to protect their comfort, is there ever a reasonable exception, or does breaking it even a little bit undo the whole point of the promise in the first place? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.